No! Please!
I didn't recognize these flayed racks of flesh. Their scent was vampiric. They gnawed upon their victim's carcass like dogs.
It appears that Raziel has come into a few more of his former vampire kin, and he's continuing to not like what he sees. These things are even more disgusting than, well, to his eyes at least, they're even more disgusting than the things that he had run into beforehand. Instead of just being things that suck the blood out of their victims, they prefers them as, hit him with a rock, very nice, as gnawing on the bodies of their victims like dogs. Damn, I'm gonna have to bring this one back. That's something a little unusual. I mean, the vampires usually suck out the blood, but these guys are more like, I don't want to use the term feral because that's not the proper word, but they're more animalistic, and their bodies are decaying and kind of disgusting. Something if somebody like, oh shit, this guy's got a dart gun. Oh, he's a human. Oh, damn. I just died. That's okay. That's okay.
This charnel house bore the unmistakable marks of Melchiah's clan. To what depths had our dynasty plummeted if these ghouls were the descendants of my high-born brother? Were they so debased as to recruit fledglings from the desiccated corpses here interred?
Melchiah was one of the vampire lieutenants of Cain, and he is kind of the, well, you'll hear the description of him in a little bit. But the Raziel is quite disgusted at what he has found when he's returned to the living world. I mean, every time he's come into more and more evidence of what has happened to his once proud race, he called it, he's becoming ever more and more disgusted. Another puzzle. Like I was saying at the end of the last episode, the Elder God is talking about souls returning to the Wheel of Fate or some other such nonsense. And it has something to do with the kind of afterlife that this world has. When souls die, they get turned to this Wheel of Fate thing, and it's basically fed by them.
My brother Melchiah was made last, and therefore received the poorest portion of Cain's gift. Although immortal, his soul could not sustain the flesh, which retained much of its previous human frailty. This weakness, it seemed, was passed on to his offspring. Their fragile skins barely contained the underlying decay.
The problem with this whole Wheel of Fate thing, being fed by the souls and all of that, was vampires are immortal. They don't die under normal circumstances. They won't age and die. No matter how strong a human is, they will eventually die and their soul will return to their Wheel of Fate and will basically feed the system over again. Vampires, though they could be killed, and I have killed quite a few of them so far, they don't age and die, so that's sort of choking the Wheel of Fate, and that is what the Elder God is trying to rectify. Just disgusting little creature. Now this place we have gone to is the home of Melchiah, one of the vampire brothers of Raziel. Now this was the last of the vampires that Cain had produced himself, or the last of his lieutenants that he had created, and Raziel referred to it as being the one that received the least of Cain's gift. And notice that Raziel is still referring to it as a gift, not a curse. As such, it was a limited thing. It wasn't like the way a normal vampire would be created, however that was supposed to be. But, that's one of them warp panel things. There was something different about the way Cain made his vampire lieutenants, and it was a very limited way in which he could do it, which is why he was only able to create the small number that he did, the 6 that he did, I believe the number was. And even at that point, Melchiah was somehow, being the last one created, was the one that Cain had the least ability to do so, and produced something that was inferior to the rest. Raziel, in fact, was produced first, something that he was probably quite proud of. Ah, you disgusting little creature jumping out of the dirt. Why don't you just die? I don't think weapons wear out in this game, so you don't have to worry about that. Whoa, nasty. Shit! Platforming back in 2000, I think, was when this game was produced, was still kind of screwy. Platforming in 3D games really didn't hit its stride until maybe 2002 or so, with games like Ratchet and Clank. Before that, 3D platforming was quite screwy. Even games that people quite fondly remember, oh, stepped in a puddle. Even the platforming that a lot of people remember being quite good, like Mario 64. Ah, shit, it didn't die. Die, you son of a bitch. Let's try this. Ah, shit. Like Mario 64 was quite clunky and all of that. Ah, the weapon's too far away, I can't get it. I'm gonna have to proceed without my weapon, which can make killing some monsters kind of more difficult if you don't have anything nearby you can finish them off with. Like, maybe this one might be hard to beat. I don't know if there's any... Oh, good, okay. Die! The camera is such a pain in the ass. It's not like a modern game where you would have your left analog stick controlling movement and your right analog stick would control the camera, and you could sort of adjust both of them at the same time, and your shoulder buttons, or trigger buttons people call them nowadays, would probably be your attack buttons. This being a PlayStation 1 game, they couldn't even assume that every owner of the game would have an analog controller. So they would... Damn it! Die, you disgusting little freak. Hold on, I gotta finish this guy off proper. There. How do you like being dead? Killing vampires can be a pain in the ass. So the way they have the control going is your control. I'm controlling this by the D-pad, by the way, and the L2 and R2 buttons swivel the camera around. You can also lock on the enemies with the R1 button, but it's still kind of clunky. I mean, it was better than the stuff that had come out before it, probably, but still, I mean, retrospectively, it seems kind of bad. So look at that, that was really weird the way what I had just done. Hello? That is a dead vampire, but its soul has drifted away. Now, I can't consume the soul quite yet. If I go back to the spectral world, which I can do by doing this, I can find the soul and maybe kill it before it has a chance to get back to the vampire.
Beware, Raziel. These wraiths are vampire spirits, fettered too long in the spectral realm. When their vampire natures adapt to this plane, they become eaters of souls. Do not allow these spirits to re-inhabit their corpses.
Okay, this one's gonna... If we don't kill it quick enough, it'll return back to its vampire corpse. And that'll make an extra powerful enemy that we have that's harder to defeat if it were alive. A re-ensouled vampire is a more powerful enemy. So I gotta kill it. Fortunately, like all spectral enemies, once you've beaten it down enough, you can immediately consume its soul. You don't have to impale it in anything or set it on fire. Also, something I'll have to make note is the spectral realm is intended to be a pretty good analogous setting to the physical realm, meaning all of the landmarks are pretty much the same. But that doesn't mean things aren't different. You'll notice that a number of things like everything's bluer or greener, that's for certain. But sometimes, like, that pillar was standing straight in the physical realm. Spiritual realm, or spectral realm, not really. Also, here's another change. There was no platform here for me to stand on before. So this was an area of the game where you absolutely had to go into the spectral realm in order to get up this far. It's one of those puzzles that you have to jump in and out of the different realms in order to complete it. Now what I have to do here is, now I'm in the physical realm, I gotta do another box puzzle. I can't see what I'm doing. That looks weird. Looks really weird. And I gotta get this box over onto the other side. Boom. Notice that Raziel's health is fading away while we're in the physical realm. But it doesn't happen in the spectral realm. It takes effort. Son of a bitch! I did that wrong. It takes effort for him to maintain his physical presence. This is kind of like in same thing in Blood Omen, where Cain would have to constantly kill enemies and consume their blood because his health slowly leached away while he was not doing that. It was a bit of a chore in that game. Honestly, it's a bit of a chore in this game too, because I've lost a fairly significant amount of health over the rather short time I've been here so far. Okay, there's a few things I have to do in this area. I'm going to start by going over here and jumping on this platform, lowering that one and raising that one. Now I'm going to go over here, and I have to take this box, another box puzzle, yet another one, two in the same room, I know, and I gotta bring it to the other side of the room, which is going to involve tossing it over the side. Shabam! More of these little... Whoops! More of these disgusting little freaks. Anything I can do to kill them? Oh, there's a weapon. Okay, that's a re-ensouled vampire. The sparklies around it tell that. Make that kind of clear. I need the soul. Oh, jeez, I died. Son of a bitch. Okay, I can't push anything in the spectral realm, so I've got to go and find a place so I can return back to life. Oh, over there, I can do it there. Now I'm going to go down there and slaughter those two vampire freaks. Oh, Gotta suck out the soul before he comes back to life. Re-ensouled vampire or not, he still dies like the rest of them, and now he's dead for good. Okay, box puzzle time. Gotta bring the thing all the way back over to the other side. Ah, where the hell did you come from? You should just kill yourself, you ugly freak. I keep pushing the wrong buttons because this is a funny thing. This is one of those few games where I have actually purchased twice. I purchased a PlayStation version back in maybe 2002. Back, well after I had gotten a PS2 and stopped really playing PS1 games. But I still bought it anyway because I had heard good things and I wanted to give it a try. But I purchased it anyway, and so I played on a PS2. But then I went and quite recently, and this is where I bought the game the second time, found it on a Steam sale, and I bought the PC version. And I intended to play the PC version for this LP, but I'm not doing that now. I'm playing an emulated PlayStation 1 version, and that's because, quite simply, I needed to be able to play this with a gamepad. The game doesn't play that well on a keyboard, and plus it's easier for me to cue the microphone because I don't leave it live all the time while I'm using the controller because I use the space bar. Son of a bitch! Oh, I did not want to do that. I did not want to have to go and I wanted to leave it like my normal way where I cue the microphone with my space bar and I play with the controller. But the controller support in those 14-year-old games is really shoddy on PCs. I mean, it's kind of crappy. There was controller support, but it didn't work too well. The analog sticks sort of worked sometimes, sort of worked other times, didn't work other times, and I couldn't get the game to be consistent with how well it worked. So that plus the that was pretty much the deciding factor. I didn't want to have to go and have a whole lot of guesswork on whether this shit was going to work every time I loaded it up. And strangely enough, the emulated version is better in my eyes right now. Even though the PC version certainly does look better. In the PlayStation version, the textures aren't filtered, although I could filter them in the emulator. Also, there's texture warping and stuff that doesn't happen. And the Steam version of this game has 1080 support, which is it makes it, I mean, the game is old, no doubt, but it does make it look pretty good. Okay, we have pushed that box into the air, and all that does is open up this door. Not really substantial, is it? But we gotta go back to the spectral realm, don't we? And the reason why we do this is because, son of a bitch, I went over the mark. Remember, platforming in old games, really bad. To tell you the truth, platforming in new games and stuff isn't particularly good either. Now I'm gonna go and suck out some souls. I know I can find them in this area. Come on, souls. Come to me. Oh, an ugly son of a bitch, isn't he? Oh. Well, our health is regenerating anyway. We'll be fine. I'm going to stay in the spectral realm a bit. And that's because there's a little bit of platforming over here that I want to do in the spectral realm. Remember when I jumped over on that platform over there? It lowered it and brought this one up. So now that makes this one now high enough that I can use it as a stepping stone to get to the other side. The problem is, in the physical realm, stepping on this would cause it to drop down below. With the spectral realm, you can't affect the world around you. So, stepping on it doesn't cause it to get weighed down. Here we are. Now we're on the other side, we can return to the physical realm. And we have, oh my god, another box puzzle. What we've got to do is get this over here. Okay, you gotta match up the pattern for the box with the hole you stick it in. So this pattern already matches, so that's good. But I gotta get it up here and then push this box off the top. Now I can stick this one in, no problem. This one will be fine. This box on the other side, we need to rotate that one to get that box matching this pattern. So how can I do that? That's the way it is right now. So let's flip this in this direction. Now flip it in this direction. There, that should do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Push it in. Unfortunately, nothing has really happened in this episode so far, and it's been 20 minutes. I'll make sure I advertise that in the beginning. But with this door, I'm going to be bringing this episode to a close. So thanks for watching, and hopefully some good stuff will happen in the next one. Well, actually, you know what? No, I'm going to continue on with a little bit. Because, well, we got to do something here, don't we? I'm going to try and contain all my non-events in one episode here, so I'm not going nowhere with all of these all of the time. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it right. What? Come on. There we go. Nope. Damn controls. This'll do it. And boom. What? Am I missing something here? I'm missing something here. Oh, okay, over there. I'm up in the wrong spot. Gotta go over here. It's been a little while since I've played this one here, so you gotta forgive me a little bit if I get turned around a bit. There we go. Ooh, this place looks scary. Come on now. I think there's a Dreamcast version of this game too, wasn't there? What are you trying to do? Chump? You're gonna take a bath, I hope you know. The vampires having a big problem with water is something that was in the first Blood Omen game. Cain, every time it rained, would get injured by it until he got a certain power-up. And he also, if he had fallen in water, he would die, or he'd take a lot of damage. Probably eventually kill him, if he didn't get out quick enough. So vampire in there was hiding from me. Hello? Haha, how do you like that? Huh, that one didn't die. I guess that pool of light wasn't big enough. Oh, okay. That was pretty stupid. Ran right into it. Guess the AI wasn't particularly smart back then. Now, Cain in Blood Omen was weakened by sunlight, but it didn't kill him. He would... What? Try that again. Okay, one more time. Cain was weakened by sunlight, but it didn't harm him and it didn't kill him. It's only the weaker vampires that are hurt by sunlight. Even though Cain was a young vampire at the time, I'd say he was stronger than these creatures. Okay. Ew, it's nasty down here. Much more of a mechanical looking setup then. Oh, there's a human up there. Hello? How you doing, dude? What are you doing? You can suck out the souls of these people, but, I mean, you don't necessarily have to kill them. I'm gonna leave that guy alive. You could kill them if you want, and then consume their souls like any vampire, but it's not really necessary. Only do it if you really need help, I guess. Okay, we gotta go and push these gears into place. Stupid platforming. Shabam! Seems dangerous, doesn't it? We're done here. How do I get out of here? Where's that door I came through? I guess this was it. You okay, bro? Whatever. Now over in this direction... No, wait, no, this is just taking us back up. Oh, there's a switch. And down it went. Look at this. Looks like a whole bunch of block puzzles, doesn't it? Get your ass up there. Oh, there's a weapon. I already got one, though, so screw that. I sort of should have stayed down there. Where was my door? I guess this was it. Yeah, that was it. Now, unlike Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, had a very big problem that I guess it alienated a lot of people trying to get into it. Aside from its sort of archaic control scheme, it really didn't do a very good job of teaching the player how to play the game. Unlike this game, which went through quite a bit of trouble to give us tutorials, walking us by the hand on how to get through it all. But I mean, at this point, they kind of expect you to go and... Did I not do this? I didn't do this. I didn't unlock the door. What did I do wrong? Oh well. Go back and see if I did something up. I was being a dumbass. I was in the right area. I just wasn't. I should have gone up here is what I needed to do. And I was concerned with trying to get through that tunnel. What you got to do here is... it's windy outside. You got to take these things and push them forward until you can do some burning. Everybody likes burning. Sweet. Of course, we're not done with this one quite yet. Give me some time. And... hold on, a little bit more. Okay, maybe I was done with this one. Do it over here. It's the same thing over here. Looks weird from this angle, doesn't it? Yeah, these things look like they're structural supports. Maybe I shouldn't be burning them down. Seems like a bad idea. Hold on, didn't do that quite right. Shit, wrong direction. Could just push it. I guess that's rather good looking fire for a PlayStation 1 game. Don't get burned! Wonder who left these gigantic fires burning. Ow! Didn't I tell you something horrible was gonna happen? But no, nobody ever listens to me. Never mind the fact that I'm controlling you. Alright, just gotta get these things in the position. And that noise equals good. So, keep going with these other ones. Do the same thing. 2 more. One more. Raziel is pretty strong for being such a scrawny bastard. And that did it. Alright, this is done. Now just hop down here. I think this is the right way to go. And now this, I said it before, but I actually mean it this time. This is where I'll end the episode. So thanks for watching. The next one, something will actually happen.